Teacher Ashleigh here with my first official YouTube video to celebrate 1 year of teaching with VIPKID. I cannot believe how quickly 365 days has gone by. I intended to make these videos every 3 months throughout my journey with VIPKID when I started, but I chickened out and I was really scared, and I'm still really scared, but I'm doing it anyways to celebrate 1 year of teaching and to help any teachers who might be wondering if this would be a good job for you. I know how much the teacher videos on YouTube helped me to decide, so I thought I would put one out there in case anything that I share might help you to decide. So the first pro for working for VIPKID that I discovered was the pay. When I started to pay for a puppy that we wanted to add to our family. And actually, to be honest, my original intent was to quit after we got the puppy. However, I was already in love with my students after day one, and I knew I wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. As long as VIPKID exists and lets me teach with them, I will be doing this. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the pay scale. VIPKID pays anywhere between $14 and $22 an hour. That is per class basis, makes more sense when explaining it because their pay structure can be confusing for new teachers. So at the $14 an hour end, you're making $7 per class. That's called your base rate. And you teach 2 classes an hour, which equals $14 an hour. But what I didn't know when I signed up and was happy to find out is that VIPKID offers so many incentives for your pay that it increases your pay so much more when you're teaching on a regular basis. So the first incentive that you get is if you show up for your class on time, you get an extra dollar. Like, come on guys, who's not showing up for their work on time? Everyone shows up on time for the most part, so you get an extra $2 an hour, which is excellent. Secondly, if you teach more than 45 classes a month, which isn't usually hard to do for most teachers, you're going to get an extra dollar a class for that too. So now you're making $4 an hour more than you thought. When you start out and you're teaching trials, and once you get certified to teach trials, if a trial student is taking their free trial and they decide to sign up after taking your class, you get $5 more for that class. So if you teach 2 trials in 1 hour and they both sign up, that's an extra $10 for that hour. The other bonus for me, because I live in Canada, as you can see, is that we get paid in US dollars. So that dollar goes a little further in Canada, and I don't think I've ever been as excited about our crappy dollar as I have been this year. So if you're Canadian like me, it's even better. Your pay rate is even better. Now, the second pro that I wanted to talk about is hours. I hesitate there because the hours can be a pro and a con at the same time, and they definitely are both for me. So because you're working on Beijing time, your students are living in China, the hours are generally overnight hours, graveyard hours, or early morning. Early morning is the most popular, depending on your time zone. I live in a Pacific Standard Time zone, which by most teachers is known to be the hardest zone to live in because most classes are booked. Right now that we're in daylight savings time, most classes are booked between 3 and 7 a.m. And when it's winter time, that goes to 2 and 6 a.m. So it's really early mornings if you want to get those peak times booked. And a lot of incentives that VIPKID gives on top of the ones I've spoken about are given for working those hours. So if you work in the Pacific Standard Time zone like I do, you might want to get used to early mornings. I didn't think I could do it. I used to be a night owl, and honestly, I switched over and I prefer it. I'm ready and had my coffee by the time my kids wake up. I'm done my work by the time they wake up. So it works out really well for me. The hours can be hard to work because a lot of teachers find if they go to bed early enough to get enough sleep through the night, they're missing time with their spouse. Because they're going to bed essentially when their kids go to bed. And I did that for a while at the beginning of the year. And when I found I was missing too much time, I started looking into other ways to sleep, and I adopted a biphasic sleep schedule where I sleep for a 3 to 4 hour chunk at night, and then I sleep for a 2 to 3 hour chunk during the day. And actually, since adopting this sleep cycle, I find I need less sleep overall. So for me, the hours are a bonus because I'm working when my kids and husband are sleeping. I don't need extra childcare to do the job, so that's not coming off of the income that I make. And I'm actually more alert throughout the day sleeping this way. So I've discovered a sleep schedule I never would have otherwise tried out because it sounds crazy, but it works for me. It may be a con for some teachers if you can't adjust easily to that. The flexibility of the scheduling is one of the other pros that I have to talk about. So you schedule your classes 2 weeks out. You open your schedule. You can open it further if you want. And that's what I do. I open it for several months in advance so that parents can see that I'm planning to consistently work certain hours. And then if something comes up, an event where I don't want to have to wake up early the following morning, I will just block off the days. As long as it's 2 weeks ahead, that's plenty of time and I can block off those classes and I can go on vacation and there's no penalty. I just don't open classes for the time I will be away. So that's the third pro. The fourth pro I wanted to talk about is the referral bonus. So because I actually love this job, I'm talking about it all the time. I'm sharing stories about my students on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and my friends are like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this?" So a couple of my friends have decided they wanted to do it as well, and it's easier for them to have teachers who are working and living the VIP kid lifestyle to teach new teachers. So they give us a $100 bonus for helping our referrals get through the interview process and get hired. We do not get that bonus if you don't teach your first class. So it isn't, at first I was like, is this one of those MLM things or, something like that? I was a bit worried that I was going to have to be selling to my friends. You don't have to refer people. But if you do refer someone and they get hired and teach a class, you get an extra $100 US on your next paycheck. So it's a nice little added bonus. And my fifth pro on my list for today is my biggest one, and it is the relationships that develop through teaching English online. I was actually very surprised by this. I had no idea how connected I would get to my students and their families. And this morning, I've spent the morning collecting clips and photos and videos and thinking about my year with VIP Kid. And it makes me a little bit emotional because the connections are so real. So real, in fact, that one of my students, we had a really good trial class together at the beginning, and I'm going to show some clips from her trial class. And during her class, we had so much fun that her mom gave her an English name after our class together, and she chose to name her after my eldest daughter, which was listed in my profile, in my teaching profile on the parent side of VIP Kid. And what an honor that is. And we are so close. And her mom and I have actually become true friends. So I have real friends. I call that student my Chinese daughter, and I have other students who I'm just as close with their families in China. I'm hoping to go there next year and meet them in person. But these connections are real, and it's incredible to watch and help a student go from having zero English in 1 year to being able to have a conversation with you and tell you about their day, tell you when they're feeling sad. I've had students come to class just tell me they're feeling sad, and by the end of our 25 minutes, they're laughing and happy and smiling. And I've received feedback from parents telling me how important that is to them. And so to be able to make a difference in their lives and the difference that they've made in mine is the biggest pro that I possibly have for teaching VIP Kid. And it really surprised me. I've had students send me gifts. These were actually sent to me from one of my students. She made these, you guys, I'm not kidding. She's 7 years old. They're so talented. She's 7 years old, and she made these little, I don't know if you can see, my camera won't focus. They're hair clips. So just a second, come on, there we go. The detail is just incredible on these. She's 7 years old and she made these hair clips for my two daughters. So there's two hair clips, pink and blue, and she made this for me as well. It's just amazing. And I sent her a gift. I've had other students send me calligraphy sets and other gifts from China. So these connections are real, you guys, and they're amazing, and I wasn't expecting them. So that's it for my pros list today. There are a ton more I'm not listing, but you don't want to watch me talk for hours and hours. So my con list is really only three. It's the hours for some people is the first one. That again, not for everyone. Sometimes working when your family is sleeping is more beneficial. You don't have to pay for childcare, and that doesn't come off your pay. It depends on how your schedule works, and if you're able to adopt a sleep cycle, either going to bed early and waking up early, or doing something like a biphasic sleep schedule. If you can work that out and it works for you, the hours aren't so much of a con. They can be actually a pro. So it could go either way. The second con is canceled trials. So when you're teaching trials at the beginning, you don't have a lot of regular students. Often teachers are teaching a lot of trial students, And if a trial student doesn't show up, you get half pay for that class. So when I first started, some mornings I only had 2 classes booked, and if they both didn't show up, I was getting half pay to wake up at crazy early hours in the morning. But that didn't last long. My schedule was full pretty quickly, and VIPKID has made some changes, so there's not as many student no-shows anymore. Now that my schedule is full with back-to-back students, sometimes I'm actually grateful if a student no-shows, because it means I get at least half pay for a break where I can go grab something to eat, get a drink, have a pee, do the things that you don't get to do in that 5-minute break between classes usually. So I think that's it. Oh, I have one more con. That's right. The third con is the cancellation policy. And this is for some teachers. I don't find it to be a con personally. I haven't had an issue with it. Some teachers have. VIPKID allows you 6 cancellations in a 6-month contract. So you can cancel 6 classes without penalty or without, your contract being in jeopardy within your 6-month period. They also offer soft, medium, and hard cancellations. And so if you are legitimately sick or you have an emergency or a death in the family, you can send in your documentation, and a hard cancellation is going to be on your record and it's going to count towards your 6. The medium, I haven't had to use a medium, so to be honest, I'm not 100% confident with the exact way that works. I will write in the bottom in the description how it works for the soft, medium, and hard cancellation, but I believe for the medium cancellation, you don't have to pay a penalty. So when you cancel within 24 hours, they do dock some money off of your pay for canceling short notice. Because they have to put another teacher in there last minute. And if teachers were canceling last minute all of the time, parents wouldn't want to book. So there is a financial penalty, but with a medium cancellation, that can be waived. Usually I see them given if teachers have lost their voice or it's something not so serious. And then the soft cancellation is with documentation. They will just wipe it. There will be no financial penalty, and it won't show up as counting towards your 6 cancellations that you're allowed. So in one whole year, I had 3 days where I was so sick that I could not teach. I went and got a doctor's note. I submitted it, and they gave me soft cancellations for all my classes. It wasn't a problem for me. I've seen other teachers do the same if they've had a death in the family or a child who's very ill. As long as you have documentation from a doctor or hospital that you've been there and explaining what's happening and giving the dates from when to when that you are unable to work, they will generally grant a soft cancellation. So it doesn't even count. To me, that's completely fair to have 6 unexplained absences essentially from a job in a 6-month period. I think that is reasonable and also is fair to the parents and students that are taking our classes, because we are independent contractors. So I appreciate that VIPKID is holding other teachers accountable, because this company reflects on us as well as independent contractors. So for me, it's not a con. For some people, I understand if you need to take a lot of sick days or if you have a sick child, that may be a serious con for you. So think about that before you sign up. And now I want to get into the fun part. I want to show you actually what day-to-day life as a VIPKID teacher is about. I want to show you some video clips. I want to show you some photos. I have some funny moments. I have some heartwarming moments. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the feedback I've received so you can see live what these relationships that have developed over just 1 year actually look like with my students and their parents and their learning and development of their English skills. So let's get to that, and I will meet you back here when we're done. I was so nervous to teach my first class, and it shows. As you'll be able to see through the videos progressing, I did become more comfortable, but this first one is awkward even for me to watch. Enjoy.
Hello. 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 My name is Teacher Ashleigh. Can you say Ashleigh? My name is Ashleigh. Yes, good job. What is your name? What is your name? Tao Tao? Tao Tao? Your name? Tao Tao?
Yes.
Yes. Say, my name.
This is a clip from a trial student I had 1 month into teaching. She has gone on to become one of my favorite students. I refer to her as my Chinese daughter, as her English name was given to her after my oldest daughter's name. This is a clip of me meeting her cat, Elsa. Elsa went on to have kittens, and I even have a special bond with Elsa and her baby Pandois.
Hey. Is that a cat?
Yes.
Is this your cat? Can I see? Where's your cat? Oh, hi, kitty. Hi. Hello. Oh, so cute.
This student's cat had kittens. As you can see, in the meantime, I improved my lighting with a new webcam and a new light in my classroom. We had agreed that we wanted my puppy to meet her kittens when they were old enough. In this class, they were finally old enough, and my puppy met her kittens. Even our pets are creating bonds across oceans.
Look who's here. He's getting bigger. Say hello. Hello. How are your kittens? How is your cat? Is she happy?
Happy.
Happy, yes. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, she's so cute. Say hi, Otis. Oh, very cute. Aww. What is her, is it a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Boy. Oh, this is a boy too. Ow.
And this video is the first time one of my students told me they love me.
And let's
See you next time. What? I love you too.
I love you, teacher.
Oh, I love you.
Sometimes the teaching slides can really make teachers laugh. This one is particularly funny, and if you're lucky enough to get this slide in your classes, don't pass up the opportunity to show your students just how cool you really are.
We need sunglasses because we need to be cool. And then we need music to have rap. Let's listen to the beat for rap. Watch me. My name is Ashleigh. I'm from Canada. I speak English. How about you? You can do it. Go.
My name is Jerry. My name is Jerry. I am from China. I speak Chinese. How about you? You can do it. Go.
Yes, great job. Very good. Rap is kind of fun.
VIPKID students can be just as mischievous as any other students. This was my first class with this particular student, who loves to play tricks on me to this day. Watch closely in the middle.
Hello. How are you, Michael? Good. That's good. Are you ready?
For those of you who follow me on Instagram and are learning Chinese with me from Teacher Tony, this is our resident teacher, Tony, who has taken it upon himself to teach me Chinese. He is such a sweet student, and every class with him warms my heart. Even if my Chinese words aren't always the most useful, I will know how to talk about Brazilian turtles wherever I go. VIPKID.
These are my fingers.
These are my fingers. These are my hands. This is my head.
Oh my gosh, very good. Great job. Wow, Tony, you did excellent. Ding, ding, ding.
You are awesome.
You are awesome.
One of the benefits to being recorded every day is you can laugh at yourself. How does one poke oneself in the eye while wearing glasses, you ask?
The snow is white.
I wanted to take some time in this video to go over some of my favorite parent feedback. Parent feedback is one of the main ways that you can engage with parents of your students, and it is very important for getting feedback on areas you can improve on and areas that you are already doing well, and some of the translations just turn out to be really funny. So I've included a little bit of everything in here. I currently have 831 parent feedbacks. All of them are 5 apples except for one, which is good. It was 4 apple review from a trial student with no comments. As you know, if you're a teacher, that's super frustrating because we don't know what we could do to improve or if they even understood the rating system for VIPKID properly. So that one that's out of bounds is going to drive me crazy. But anyways, here are some of my favorite feedback from feedbacks from parents. I do teach English and I know how to speak it, I promise. This is from Tony's parents. He is Teacher Tony. If you follow me on Instagram, he's working hard to teach me Mandarin. When he does a good job, he gets to teach me a Mandarin word, and quite often they are hilariously not useful to me if I go to China, but I love learning from him and I actually remember the content, so he is a really good teacher. This review says, Ashleigh, teacher is very good, funny, rich teaching aids. We can see that the teacher likes children, but also to treat every student and parents. Your Chinese pronunciation is very standard. Surprise us, you are a language teacher. So some of these words, sometimes it's hard to understand, and throughout the year I've learned it's good to be a part of the Say What group for VIPKID teachers on Facebook, because you can put these translations in and people who speak Mandarin fully can explain them to you, such as the word standard means that it's very natural. So my pronunciation is very natural. This also surprises me, but there you have it. I wasn't going to not share that with all of you today. Here's one from Ella. She's the one who's named after my oldest daughter. The teacher can finish the lesson effectively every time, usually leaves some time to read the picture book with the child. This is the child's favorite part, and every time they read the picture book together with the teacher, they will burst out laughing. Always though, the classroom time passes too quickly. I feel the same with Ella, and she's a very smart student, she's a very intelligent student, and her mom is actually an English teacher in China. So her skills are very advanced, but there are some foundations that she's still missing, so we don't want to move her ahead. And because of that, there's often some extra time left at the end of our classes, and I usually fill that by reading a book. She particularly loves the Elephant and Piggy series by Mo Willems, and these are books that are great for many students. I have marked my books with which sight words and grammar rules they're good to teach. So if I'm teaching bossy E in a lesson, I can choose a book that has a lot of bossy E words. And if there are certain sight words in a lesson, they often go along with the Elephant and Piggy books. So I think I've heard that VIPKID doesn't recommend reading stories. I haven't had a complaint so far. Most of my students love it when I do it. And I only do it when they have completed the material in the courseware and they have done it very well. If there's anything they need to work on, we use the time to review instead. Leanne left a review, or Leanne's parents left a review. I'm sorry the home network was so awful last night and Leanne didn't get the chance to say goodbye to you. Your class is so interesting and you are the one with a lot of energy. I can feel it. And they go on to say that she would like to have more classes with me, and we've had many more classes since that class. But yes, the home networks can be really challenging to work with, and you're at the mercy of the internet. So sometimes you get classes that are a little difficult for both teacher and student. Julia is a level 6 student, so she's very advanced and her English is very fluent. So mostly what she's getting is conversation practice and work on her grammar and conversing naturally in English. So she wrote me this review and it's one of my favorites because it makes me laugh. I really like Ashleigh. It's my first time hearing Ashleigh, this awesome name. She looks like Taylor Swift and always have many emotions. And I was really surprised that she edit pictures so interesting. So cool. She also loved animals since she was a young girl at 3. That is really a big dream, and her dogs are so special and cool and lovely. Hope one day I could meet them. And she also showed a deer at her house. It was so fun. In her class, you can pick numbers and get stars and questions. I like this kind of activity that helps us get to know each other more. I suggest every class she makes a puzzle with numbers or something else to improve students' learning and also help them to enjoy in her class. Really happy to meet her, and it's really fun to make different teachers' daily life in VIPKID. That also adds knowledge into our minds. Love it. She is a fantastic student, and the way that I think she's 12 years old, and she speaks just like my 10-year-old would with almost no accent. It's incredible. Her goal is to become a musical theater actress, but she wants to do it in English. So these students are just so interesting, and I find their lives so fascinating. Tian Tian is one of my regulars. Thank you. Teacher, I read your message. I am very happy. I'm very happy in this class. I will work harder and concentrate more in class next time. Thank you very much. Sweet message. Tian Tian sometimes doesn't like to focus. She was the one in the videos that I posted when I poked myself in the eye, and you can see she's doing a gymnastics routine while she learns. I tend to allow her to be physical since in their schools in China they aren't allowed to move around so much. As long as they're participating, they can move around while they're in my class. Paul is a student that is very special to me, and when he started with me, other teachers were referring to him as a girl because he was put in the computer like that. They don't have gender pronouns in Mandarin, so quite often the genders get mixed up. And when I met him, he was speaking very little English, and now he's really excited to learn. And he's so interesting. He doesn't like animals, but he keeps 20 to 30 snails as his pets. And so I'm always trying to come up with new snail rewards for Paul. Children are always very happy and engaged in your class, as if they are playing games instead of in a class. I am so happy that you can talk so happily, happy to learn, and happy to communicate. This is one of the greatest compliments I can get for myself, and every teacher is going to be different in what they value in their feedback. But for me, it is my goal to make sure that my students are relaxed and happy in every class with me. Michael is the student from the video that was being a bit mischievous and naughty. His parents write, the teacher is very lively and loving. He can move the atmosphere very well. That's that gender pronoun things. I often get referred to as he or Mr., and the children like it very much. Here's another one from Ella. Ella, and you spent a wonderful New Year's Eve in the classroom. She was very happy and excited. I also wish you and your parents a happy New Year and good luck in the year of the pig. So Ella was in my classroom. She spent her New Year's Eve with me, and I was honored. Her mom also sent me in the mail a bracelet for luck because I was born in the year of the pig, so I need a little extra luck this year. And she sent me a red bracelet with a jade pig on it, and she sent bracelets for each of my girls and a lovely Christmas card at Christmas time, which was really exciting to receive. And then here's a feedback from Dana. She's one of my favorites as well, and her and I have become very close. The teacher and the child have the same hobby. They discuss the same hobby, unwittingly finish the course. The children like it very much. Thank you for the loving teacher. They are all close to becoming good friends. Looking forward to the teacher's next class. This was one of my first classes with Dana, and we discovered that we both love Harry Potter, and Dana would like to become a veterinarian when she grows up, which is what my goal was when I was growing up too. So I'm always excited to see her in my classroom and talk about Harry Potter and other books that we love in common. Here's another nice one from Ella about reading books together. And this one makes me laugh every time I come across it. Yeah, I've been taking the teacher's class. It's just so funny, and I'm sure it's a translation issue, but it just makes me laugh how simple it is. There's another nice one from
Ella just explaining that I pay attention to the students' feelings and that they feel relaxed every time, which I said is most important to me. And then this was one of my first feedbacks from Paul's class, and he was struggling with his English classes, and I could tell from other teacher-to-teacher feedback that he wasn't getting what he needed from all of his classes. And so it was really exciting for me to get this feedback. The class child likes very much. I am also very secure. Before often will accompany, afraid he does not concentrate. Yesterday, class, I was very safe to fall asleep. So his mom was sleeping actually behind him on the bed. And as a parent, you know what? If I can give this mom 25 minutes to have a nap while her son is taking a class with me, I'm happy to know that she's confident enough to trust me so far as to just know that her son will pay attention and I will keep him engaged, and she can relax and know that he's taken care of for 25 minutes. So that's all I have to say about my feedback. I have been lucky, knock on wood, not to get too much negative feedback other than that one 4-apple feedback, which I don't even know if it was negative because there were no comments. So if you want to get good feedback, I recommend just working really hard, giving every class your all. And in the comments, or in the feedback that I give parents, I always thank them for booking a class with me and ask them to provide any feedback they have for me at the end of the class. If you're still watching, thank you for sharing my one-year journey with VIPKID. I can't wait to see what the rest of the coming years will bring. I just wanted to share a little bit of the evolution of my journey. This was my first classroom, and as you can see, nothing is permanent and everything is chaos. So I spent my first month's earning redoing my office to accommodate my classroom. I taught for several months off of an IKEA Raskog rolling cart, until I acquired too many props and reward systems and needed to expand to a laptop stand, also from IKEA. Most mornings, my classroom looks like this after teaching. It means we've had a good time. Speaking of a good time, I've met so many wonderful local teachers at meetups, and we've had a blast together too. My students have drawn pictures of me, sent me amazing gifts like this calligraphy set from my student Dana, and they have also emailed me paintings that they have done of me. Today I reach 365 days of teaching students in China, and I can't wait to see how many more days are to come. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
So I just wanted to thank you for celebrating my one-year anniversary with VIPKID today. I can't wait to bring you more videos and content that will hopefully help you on your journey as a VIPKID teacher. And I can't wait to see what this year brings. I'm hoping that next year's anniversary video, I will be able to share some video and photos of me meeting some of my students in real life when I go to China. And I know at least one of my students is coming to my city, and I will be visiting with her in the summer. So I am very excited to share with you what these relationships look like when you get to actually meet your students. I have seen some teachers have this amazing experience, and I can't wait to go there myself. That is my goal for the coming year. Please share your goals for the coming year below, and let me know if I can help you in any way. Thank you very much. I will see you next time. Goodbye.